Assalamu alaikum, family. How's everyone doing today? Hope y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day. This is the day that that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Hope y'all are having a blessed day. Today is Tuesday. It's the second day of the work week. Hope you had a blessed weekend. Your Monday was a blessed day. And in likelihood that you're having one of those days, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. Hope that you are enjoying this weather that's breaking in many parts of the country. And also, drink plenty of H2O. Stay hydrated. It's going to get warm out there. And summer is pretty much upon us, even though it's not the official day, but it's still upon us. But in any event, um, so yesterday I came across a video on my YouTube feed from a good brother of mine. I mentioned him on this channel uh, quite a few times. Well, more than quite a few times. Um, a lot of times, brother Maj Toure out of Philadelphia. He's owner of Solutionary University, Black Guns Matter. Great brother. We were able to, I was able to meet him via Zoom, taking his classes on civics and on gun safety and on how to recognize an imminent threat. So those three classes: uh, civics 101, gun safety, and how to recognize the imminent threat. So I was able to, talk to him quite a few times. Great brother out of Philly, brother Maj Toure. Any event, he was doing this video yesterday regarding Palantir Technologies. They're based out of Denver. They have about 5 founders. I don't know their names right off the top of my head, but they're based out of Denver. They've been around for 22 years. We started in 2003, and they're a technology company. The reason why I mention them is because Donald Trump, President Trump, is has tapped them to gather data on American citizens. So basically, if you go- your so what that means, like if you go to the doctor, you go see your doctor, the government will know. Well, such and such and such went to go see their doctor on this day for this reason, and they get these medications. They have access to your social security number. I believe that if you do transactions, uh, they would have access to that. Oh, on this day he withdrew this amount of money, or they did this, they did that. So basically, your daily life, your daily moves would be in this database. The federal government would be able to see what you're doing. This makes the Patriot Act look like a traffic citation. Let me repeat that again. This makes the Patriot Act look like a traffic citation. This is the Patriot Act on steroids. Brother Maj Toure said yesterday on this video, this is like Big Brother being a nosy neighbor. This is what it makes Big Brother look like, a, no, a nosy neighbor. This is insanity. And it's government overreach. It epitomizes it. Government overreach. Why do the government needs to know if you see your doctor, what medication you're getting? Why do they need access to your social security number, which they probably already had all along? Why do they need to know what you're doing in your daily life? Why? I know they're gonna say it's for the security of the nation. That's BS. That is BS. Because are we do we feel secure now? I always in my videos with beware and be aware. We're not safe. Only Allah God could bestow safety upon us. Not the federal government, not the state government, not your local government. Only God can bestow safety, his arms of protection around us. He's the only one, not this government here. They never have, they never will. If anything, we're less safe because they're the threat. They talking about our safety. They're a threat to our safety. That's right. This government is a threat to our safety. Before I go any further, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of whenever I do videos on here. Well, I don't feel more secure knowing that the government can have access to my to whenever I go see my doctor. Well, on this such and such date, he had his annual checkup. On this such and such date, he went to the dentist to get his teeth cleaned. On this such and such date, he did this, he did that. That is insanity. But it's not being talked about. I wonder why. The government want us to be transparent, while meanwhile, will they be secretive? It's not supposed to work that way. The government is supposed to be more transparent. They're supposed to be trans show us the utmost of transparency. We're the ones that should be living our lives in secrecy, because it's our private lives. The government shouldn't be private. The government should be public and very transparent with its citizens, not the citizens being transparent with the government. That's overreach. But again, like I said, if Joe Biden had done this, or Kamala Harris, or whomever, I would be on here criticizing it, like I am now criticizing Donald Trump, because this is overreach. This man wants to be a king. When you look up the word narcissism, it should be a picture of Donald Trump there. He epitomizes what a narcissist is. My wife was telling me yesterday when I had brought this up to her about Palantir technologies, having a database and have access to our lives. She said that she wasn't surprised. She said that if people who are getting jobs in the federal government, that they have to like swear an oath of allegiance to Donald Trump or something to that effect, that you will protect and uphold um, the president of the United States, not the country, but the president, like he's a king. This is insanity, y'all. This is insanity, and it's only gonna get worse. This is like Skynet. Those of y'all who watch the Terminator movies, y'all know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Skynet. That's what Palantir technologies remind me of. Is Skynet. And John Connor, Sarah Connor, the Terminator, they were trying to destroy Skynet. That's what this remind me of, is Skynet. Skynet. This is Skynet being revealed in real time. Think about this. Why does the federal government need access to when you go to your doctor's appointment? You go get medication. Why does the government need to know that? Why do they need to have access to your social security number? Like with the Patriot Act, why do they need to know if you withdrew $10,000 of your own money out of your bank account? Yes, the Patriot Act. George W. Bush, to protect us from terrorists who um, this, were a threat to our democracy on 9/11, 2001, that mumbo jumbo, the Patriot Act. Why did they need to know if you withdrew $10,000 of your money out of your bank account? Why? It's my money. Why does the federal government need to know if you purchase a house? You know, the Patriot Act has something to do with you owning a home. It did. Why does the federal government need to know that? It's none of their damn business. This is government overreach. This thing with Palantir right here that Trump is allowing them to do or will allow them to do, it makes the Patriot Act look like a traffic citation. George W. Bush would have never done this in his wildest dreams. And I could not stand W. Bush. I thought he was a liar. I thought he should have been brought up on charges of war crimes against humanity. I just, until this day, I feel that way about George W. Bush. Donald Rumsfeld has met his maker. So has Colin Powell. But that whole cabal of Satan, they destroyed many lives, thousands of lives, not only here in the US, but abroad in Iraq and Afghanistan. And Donald Trump is just taking this up a notch with this, with allowing our database. It's so bad. This is how bad it is. Check this out. So people who voted for Donald Trump, who swore allegiance to him, MAGA supporters, they feel betrayed. Yes, his hardened supporters, his ardent supporters who staunchly supported Donald Trump's campaign last summer, they feel betrayed by him because it's not only affecting those on the left, but it's affecting those on the right. All Americans. They're not going to differentiate. Well, we're just going to look at the data for people who didn't vote for Donald Trump. You know, Democrats, those on the left, those who voted for Kamala Harris. We're going to look at their data. Nope, it's for Trump supporters too, and they feel betrayed. And I just find it funny, y'all sitting out here, stomping the ground for this man, and this is how he thanks you. Again, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I said on here many times, I'm sitting this one out. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I'm going to sit this one out. And that's what I did. Same thing I did in 2020. I didn't vote for Joe Biden. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I sat that one out. I haven't voted in an election, in a presidential election, in 9 years. 2016 was my last The last presidential election I voted in, the last one, 2016, and I voted for Hillary Clinton. I wish I wouldn't have done that because I didn't want her to win either, but I didn't want Trump in there. And so I was talked into voting for Hillary Clinton. That was a different Ryan. That was 9 years ago. As I said in my video before this, I'm not that same person. Not the same person I was years ago. Nope. But Trump, yeah, this is what he's allowing. All Americans. Again, not just those on the left, not those on the who are black, who live in, for lack of a better term, the hood. Not those who, are whose causes are left, like LGBTQ plus IA rights, or who are for Palestine or Israel, or Black Lives Matter. The people who are agendas, the Me Too movement. It don't matter what your causes are, who you are, your social status, where you live. This is going to affect all Americans. Yes, even those right wing extremists. It'll probably affect y'all more. I'm just saying. May affect y'all more. People who are Proud Boys, um, neo Nazis, Klan members, people who Blue Lives Matter, Back to Blue, hardcore right wing conservative Republicans. It's going to affect you too, just like those on the left. So we all going to be in that whole group. And many MAGA supporters say they feel betrayed. Mm, 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 mm. So sad, too bad. I'm glad. So y'all, Lord and Savior Donald Trump has betrayed you. But that's what a lot of people were saying. A lot of people were saying Trump don't give a rat's behind about y'all. And this shows it. I wasn't out here tap dancing for this man. No, I didn't think Kamala Harris should be a good leader, a good president. No. But at the same time, again, I'm like I said, I set this one out. And I'm glad I did. And there's more to come. What did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say? That Trump is peeling back the skin of the onion of civility? He is. He said, Trump is taking America to hell in a rocket ship. He is. He is. So, but this is government overreach. This is something that reminds me of the old Soviet Union. I don't know if y'all old enough to remember, but those of us who grew up in the 80s, the 70s, and 80s, remember the old Soviet Union. We were told that the Soviet Union was communist. They ruled with the iron fist. They didn't want democracy. They suppressed their people. I remember seeing, as when I was a little boy, I remember seeing on the news. Uh, it was always in the wintertime. Moscow. They would go to Moscow, and there would be lines of people, like thousands, hundreds of people in line just to get a loaf of bread, just to get milk, cheese. Be lines of people stand out there in that Russian cold like this, getting the necessities to survive: bread, milk, cheese, whatever, the bare essentials that we could get. We just go around the corner and get. Come back home. They were standing in long lines. Y'all remember that? This was in the old Soviet Union. And half of Europe, well, Eastern Europe, Poland, half of Germany, what's another? Romania. All these countries were controlled by communists. Germany used to be divided. You had West Germany, which was for democracy, so to speak, and you had East Germany, which was communist. And there was a wall in the city of Berlin that separated West Germany and East Germany. You had West Berlin, East Berlin. I'm old enough to remember this. And the Soviets were. I read stories and heard from those who lived in Russia during that time that the Soviets would spy on their citizens. If you did something that they deemed was a, a threat, they would arrest you and put you in jail, throw you in prison, or in some cases, they will murder people. I've heard stories about this, read stories about this, the old Soviet Union. This is what America is turning into, the Soviet Union. If we're not careful, this is what America will turn into. It should also be noted that a lot of advocacy groups are fighting this in court. They're fighting against what Trump is trying to do with Palantir Technologies. They're fighting it tooth and nail in court right now, and rightfully so, because this is, like I said, this is a violation of our rights. This is tyranny on steroids. Tyranny run amok, where you want to have a database of all Americans to see what we're doing in our daily lives. This someone said it. Saw another person say that it's like Enemy of the State. That movie Enemy of the State with Will Smith and the late great Gene Hackman. That's what this is like. Enemy of the State. And I've been telling people for years, pay attention to these movies. Pay attention to what Hollywood is putting out here with movies like Enemy of the State, the Terminator movies. Pay attention. It's not just for entertainment. They're sending you a message of what's to come. And look where we at now. That movie, I, Robot, it spoke about artificial intelligence. This movie came out 21 years ago in 2004, and now look where we at. Artificial intelligence is is upon us, and you could say it's taken over. The metaverse. Hollywood put that movie out back in 2004 with Will Smith, I, Robot. Y'all need to pay attention to these movies. Hollywood is not just They're not entertaining you. They're trying to send a message. They're foretelling of what's to come. We have drones. Terminator 2 came out back in 1991. I remember it. July of 1991, I believe it was. No, it was in the summer 91. 34 years ago, it foretold of drones. We have drones among us now. The movie They Live came out in 1988. It told you about disinformation, how people would soak it up. The movie with Roddy Piper and Keith David came out 37 years ago. They Live. Check it out. Came out in the late 80s. Told you about disinformation, how people would soak it up. These movies that Hollywood has put out and are putting out, they're sending a message. Pay attention. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button now. Hit that subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. This is a conversation that needs to be had. This needs to be had. So share this video. Share it as much as possible. Let's get it out there in the algorithm and let's have this conversation because, again, it's a must. I know there's going to be some who disagree with me on this, and that's fine and dandy. That's your right. But let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. In our disagreements, let's use logic, common sense, respect, and facts, not emotion and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. Support my YouTube channel here and my future projects. It'd be greatly appreciated. A brother cannot do these without your love, without y'all love and support. So please continue to support your brother and show the love. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit that subscribe button. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. As we see with Trump trying to get a database on all of us, no matter what walk of life that you come from, where you live, how much you make, no matter who you are, they want access to our daily lives. So it's not for our safety. It's not. I know they're going to say it's for immigration, illegal immigrants who break the law. Why do you need access to my information to get rid of an illegal alien or illegal immigrant, excuse me? Kick them the hell out of here. You don't need access to everybody's lives. It's crazy, but that's what they're doing. So, brothers and sisters, y'all beware. Y'all beware and be aware. Whether you're going to work, coming home from work, our children are out of school in most parts of the country, whether you're going on vacation, running errands, or not doing anything at all, because you're not safe in your own home. Beware and be aware. I love y'all. I will talk to y'all soon. Inshallah. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day. And just be safe out here. All right, y'all. Take care. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.